Hello everyone. So today is another anime chat, and I really wanted to go through this anime and manga, which I have finished both. They are both actually kind of short. There are 10 volumes, and the anime is only 4 episodes long, both sub and dubbed. But your mini hint is the bunny bat in the corner here. And because this is a show or a series that I have read and watched, there's a separate one that I haven't read yet, but because of that, there are going to be big spoilers, both with the show and the manga. So let's hop into it. It is the Pet Shop of Horrors. Now, I found this about a week ago, and it was because I was watching another video saying, oh, Pet Shop of Horrors, the show, is a horror anime. And I'm like, okay, I like horror. Let's go for it. And it is terrifying from what you expect it to be. Like, you think, oh, they're like big, vicious, like lions, tigers, something like that, werewolves. And you find something more exotic, something that you really don't, or you really can't ever find in the world. Before I continue, the soundtrack is from the show, and it is a little bit distracting, so I'll talk about it later. But basically, on the right here, or the left, is the animation wall picture for it, and this is actually the wall, like the cover for the first episode. Then on the right, the actual right, is the first volume cover. Now, the plot. So, basically the plot, I love the plot, is a pet shop in Chinatown, USA, which is also a great thing, that it's in America. You'll go to this pet shop if you're looking for any type of pet, a dog, cat, lizard, but if you come in looking for something exotic, you're going to find something that is very unique. Now, what I mean by that is, well, I'll break down the first episode a little bit. So, a couple walks into the pet shop, encounters the shopkeeper, who I'll talk about later on, and they're trying to find a pet to replace someone dear to them. The shopkeeper is like, okay, I have a exact pet to help you out. Takes them in the back of the entire pet shop, past all the normal pets, to a room. They walk in, there's a human girl sitting in a chair. That is their pet. So basically, the show is revolving around these owners, or people who want pets, and they're searching, or it's like they're searching for something deeper, so they want a pet. And the pets end up being human, but not everything is what it seems. Yes, it is called Pet Shop of Horrors, but compared to the manga and anime, it's a little bit different on how you see it as. So, basically the setting of the anime is more or less in the pet shop, and you're kind of either in one of the back rooms in the pet shop, or you're in the consultation room talking to the pet shop owner. And if you're not there, the setting is different every single time because it's a new story every single time. So you'll have a big mansion or an apartment building. Just the main setting is the pet shop in Chinatown. Now, the characters. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about the characters that are shown in the anime and manga, but are main characters. So the first two are the main characters, I would say. The one on the left is Count D. His grandfather owns the shop, but he is running it for him. So he's in charge of all these pets, all the adoptions, everything, and he makes it a point to let everyone know that once you have a pet of ours, if you do anything to break our rules that we give you for the pet, we will not help you. We may help clean up the mess afterwards, but after that, we do not do anything. Some people will say he is the antagonist for the series, which is not completely true depending on how you see it. Where if you're watching the anime, then sure, he could be an antagonist. But if you're reading it, you can see it as he's a protagonist trying to help. And his motto that the store has is like, we have love and dreams, we help you out, like that. On the right, Leon Orcott, who is a American detective working in the city and suspecting that Count D is doing something with drugs. So he is always around him, always trying to figure out his motive, trying to arrest him for something. But he spends more time in the pet shop, drinking tea, and getting shot. Now, I think one of my favorite things about the two are Count D is, you can tell he isn't American, he is Asian, working in the pet shop, and he has more like, kind of like an elegance way of thinking of things, more intelligent way, where Leon he'll kind of go at things head on, but he does it with all his might, and in my opinion, that's what makes him a great cop. He doesn't give up on anything. He will try until there's a reason to give up. Until he finds his crook. Because of him, everything crime-based is almost okay. Except for what happens to pets. Now, they're both in the anime and manga, but if you really want to see how they actually are, how close their bond is, and not such an angsty detective, do the manga. He is more caring, more determination-wise, and you see him do really heroic things. And there are countless, like, all these occasions where he comes to the rescue for D, and in the end gets yelled at by him for some weird reason. But in the show, they're more kind of how do you say it, like not acquaintances. In the manga, they are friends near the end, They are friends near the end, acquaintances in the beginning, and almost like a married couple in the middle, and I'm so happy about that. You do not have any idea. Now, wondering, who are these wonderful children creatures? So, we'll start with the boy in the middle. He is Chris. And Chris is the brother of Orcott, or Leon Orcott. And he comes by one day to be with his brother after being with his aunt and uncle, siblings. He doesn't want to really be over there. He hasn't really talked in a long time because of an incident. And because of that, he and Leon, who are like years apart, they don't really talk to each other or really hang around each other. Chris ends up getting babysitted by Count D while Leon's on jobs and all that. So he ends up having a close relationship with all the animals in the shop. And also, that he is one of the only people that can actually see the creatures as humans. Once you kind of understand what you're missing, or something that you needed was found, then everything will turn back into regular animals, but they will remember you. So, the tiny girl and the other man, or boy, they're both animals, but that is how they are depicted in their human forms. The guy is a ram. Well, I can't really remember their actual creature names. They all have exotic names. But he's like a ram and she's like a raccoon. And the bunny thing is a bunny thing. I'm not going to spoil anything about that. That is a big thing. But they have so much fun together. They're almost like siblings in themselves. And it's kind of sad near the end of the series what you see happens to them. But they're only in the manga. They really are. They're only in the manga. While Dee and Leon are in the anime and manga. Now, comparing artwork from both the anime and manga, we'll start with Count D. Because when I first saw the anime, this is how you really see him. He is kind of not that welly drawn. Like, his eyes are really squinted. There's really not a lot of detail on his face. And you just kind of see him in, like, dark clothes all the time, kind of. But in the manga, you can see very distinctive features on him, like two eye colors, more detailed kimono, hair with more life to it. There is so much more that is in the manga that is not in the anime, and it made me mad. Like, you see, there's so much personality behind Count D that leaves his anime character kind of being like, what? What's happened? I don't understand. Like, he'll just stand there while the other one will have all these emotions, everything, and it is fantastic. The most emotion that you get from the anime is anytime you give him sweets. Particularly episode 3, the very beginning, which is one of my favorite things of all time now. Because you never see him really act up that way. And that's how he's supposed to be in the entire anime. Now, to go from one certain character to a creature who is in, yet again, the 3rd episode, and her name is Medusa. She is a serpent, but she isn't that cruel-hearted bastard that people might think. Now, you can already tell a difference from the anime shot and the manga shot, that there's so much more detail in the manga. With the jewelry on her arm, her serpent body, everything, her hair. In the anime, they do give off a more creepy feeling about it, but it isn't that detailed. And I'll give props to the anime on they put the story well into an animation. It really did go well for me, and it really touched my heart to see just voices coming alive for this. And it made me really feel sorry for the characters in this episode, and I think they did a fantastic job. Now, there isn't really other pictures on here from the anime comparing to manga, so what they did for the anime is they probably went through the books and they were told you only get 4 episodes, make it work. And they chose 4 chapters from 4 different volumes that probably made the biggest impact. Which is, if I remember, Daughter. This is, Daughter, Delicious. Duel is the 4th one. I can't remember the other one. I think Danger? Oh, I have no idea. Despair, something like that. And some of the depictions were really good. Some of them were not. I think they were all like basically really horrifying, especially the first 2. You see more of the horror elements off of that, more of the terror, while the last 2 were more of the emotional and having more of a happy ending. And I gotta say, it really did make me sad, but it made me really happy to see that they took these 4 chapters and played them off really well. I would probably replace Delicious with another chapter. Probably, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the 2nd episode, they should have just replaced it. They probably put it for more the revenge, backstabbing, psychological point of it. But there are a lot of good stories, and more in the beginning of the series, manga-wise, it's more horrifying, while everything else, they do character development. They did it pretty well. With not just D, but they did it with basically a lot of the characters, even customers. They did a lot of development with that, and it really made me happy. Now, with a song like what's playing now, let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack, from what I looked up, is they have a song dedicated to almost all of the episodes. And also, they have one called Count D. They have soundtracks, or not soundtracks, they have songs that are made for each episode, and then other ones that will go with the episode. And it's so beautiful. It's very creepy, eerie, and I don't remember what this particular song was in, but with the animation and what's going on in the story compared to with the song that's playing at the same time, it really gives off a creepy factor, and it made me shiver at times, and I thought it was really good. So, this image is actually also from the 2nd episode, Delicious, and It's really cool. It really is. One of my favorite images of the show. Now, before I move on, there's something I actually forgot to mention about with one of the stories. In the very first episode, you start off with a phone call between Dee and a customer. And that entire story right there was in the manga, and it was way more, and they should have put that in. That should have been an episode all on its own. But it showed more of, you broke our rules. You have to deal with the consequences. And with every pet that is taken out of the pet shop, it's not even a big list. You have 3 rules, and they're bizarre rules, but if you don't follow them, you're going to basically deal with the consequences, whether it's death, destruction, anything bad if you don't follow the directions. If you do, there are happy endings, and that's great. So, overall ranking, I basically based the overall ranking on the manga and anime, because they both are at different rankings for me, not that far off. So I decided to pick a number in the dead center of what I would give them, and decided this will be the overall. And that's 8.5 stars out of 10. The anime, I originally gave it 8, because it could have been better. They could have made an entire series out of it. 26 episodes could have been put to this. That would have got me on exactly that. Nope, didn't do that. Only 4. The manga, I put it as a 9. Reason being is, it really didn't go out great, but some of the chapters kind of felt random to me, and the ending, I wish was more to it. I wish they had at least maybe one more chapter to it, explaining everyone in the end. And sorry about that. And there is one particular chapter, now that I'm remembering it, that if they were to put in, would have made it actually the anime higher, Orme, which is a chapter that is basically Black Swan. If you've never heard of Black Swan, it's a Natalie Portman movie. It's also like Ugly Duckling, something like that. But this series helped me understand more about that movie, and also what's actually going on with you when something like that happens. And it made me so excited. I think I read the ending more than once. Overall comments, I would say the voice acting for the anime was actually really good. I saw it in the English dub, because that was the I saw it on Anime Network, and you can, it's free to watch, and I thought it was good. If I were to say one thing about both that I wish they did also with the 5 stars, was make it longer, and make it end more on a happy note in the manga, and make it a little more horrifying. If you're going to put Pet Shop of Horrors, I understand it's like more thriller horror, or psychological horror, with, you have these like human pets, you're supposed to take care of these human pets, or else something will happen to you, but show more horror, more gore. That is the only thing that's missing for me. But other than that, I don't think there's anything that the series can do. It was really good. And there is another manga, which is them taking place, I think, in Japan, like the Japanese shop, which I haven't read. I don't know if I will, only because I kind of feel like if I did, it might ruin the series for me. It's still a debate on that one. But if you like the anime chat, if you have any suggestions on anything, why don't you say any comments you like? And if you are new, you can subscribe. I'll be nice. And by the end, a little bit of news before I go. Near the end of this week, there will be a very important video that I would like everyone, all my subscribers, if you could please check it out to see what's going to happen with the channel. Because as far as I am concerned now, in the videos of this week, there will be tiny hints mentioned, but you won't say everything until then. So, until then, see ya later.